Namaste everybody. I just thought I'd make a video. It's been a tough 48 hours. I'm recovering from a approximately 42-hour flare. 48 hours really, but it started calming down after 42 hours. 42 hours continuously flaring. And this time it spread to both feet, both legs, both knees, both thighs. It spread to my hands. That's new. Spread to my hands. You see my hands are normal colour now? Right, my hands are the same colour as my arm, right? Just about. As my wrist and my hand about the same colour. I'm going to post a couple of videos of what's just happened to me, where the CRPS type 2 has, I don't know what's happened. It's never done this before. This is brand new. It's never spread to my hands before, and it's never spread to my face before. This was a full body flare. I've had many full body flares over the last 1.5 years, but this was different. This was CRPS giving me neuralgia in my hands, on both hands. I'm going to post a video of that, and CRPS in what used to be my good leg, which is my left leg. Of course, the knee's shot on the left leg. I've done this knee in through overcompensating. So this is a lidocaine patch. So yeah, the knee's done in. This used to be my good leg, but I don't know what's happened. The CRPS spread to this foot, this leg, and the CRPS shot up the skin all the way up to here. It's never done that before either. And my whole face, not my neck, that was interesting, but my whole face was bright, fiery red with white blotches all over it. I'm mottled, really mottled. That's never happened before. My sister's been researching CRPS on the forums. She goes on all the forums of people who, real life people who got CRPS, these support groups online. And she said that she's speaking to lots and lots. She's speaking to thousands of chronic CRPS type 2 sufferers, and they're the same. It's spread to every single part of their body, inside and out. Now, Dr Andreas Gobel's mice studies, he took the tissue samples from the brain of someone who had CRPS, right? He took a tissue sample of their brain, just a little small sample, and he dissolved it into a solution, and then he injected it into some mice. It's a horrible experiment. I don't agree with things like this, really. I don't agree with animal cruelty. But it was very interesting findings. Check out Dr Andreas Gobel, CRPS MICE Experiments. He injected the brain tissue samples into the mice, and I think it was other laboratory animals, but primarily mice. And the mice developed CRPS, chronic CRPS symptoms. So we now know that this is a real disease, and it's transmissible through, it would have to be through, I would have to literally take a part of my brain out, or a part of my tissue out, and implant it into your bloodstream, your body. That's the only way that it can be transmissible. It's not transmissible by sneezing on somebody or touching somebody or sexual contact. It's not anything like that. But if I were to take a tissue sample, even a tiny tissue sample, out of my brain and had some way of putting it into your brain, you would get CRPS. The mice would prefer to starve to death than move through a tunnel system to eat food. They knew where the food was, they just wouldn't move. They refused to move, and it was absolutely, it's 100% now. There's no doubt about it. CRPS is a real disease, and with tissue sample implantation, it's even transmissible. So, and we now know that CRPS runs in the family as well, like the DNA. The genetics. So, my family has a predisposition for CRPS, and another one that I forget what it's called. My sister told it to me yesterday. You also get memory problems with CRPS and confusion, memory loss. So my brother is being tested for CRPS, and it sounds like, well, he's got all of the same symptoms as me, and he has had for over 10 years, at least. And it was only the other day when I was talking to him on the phone that we connected the dots, and he's got CRPS. He's just waiting for his diagnosis, but he's got it from all the symptoms that he's been telling me for the last 10 years, or maybe more. He's got it, almost certainly. And my niece, my sister's daughter, Bethany, is being tested for something else, which is related to CRPS. It's within the family of CRPS, fibromyalgia, MS. These are all within the same family. It's the same family of diseases. They're all autoimmune. So CRPS is an autoimmune disease, which then triggers or causes many secondary autoimmune diseases like osteoarthritis, POTS disease, POTS, arrhythmia, osteoporosis. There's loads more. There's about 9 or 10 secondary diseases that are all autoimmune. The vast majority of chronic CRPS sufferers tend to get. Like I said, almost everybody who my sister is talking to, who are in the chronic stage of CRPS, pretty much all of them have got all of the same symptoms as me, including FND. So functional neurological disorder seems to be associated with chronic CRPS. Everybody else who Rachel's talking to have got CRPS and FND. So we're finding lots of links, lots of connections. We're connecting the dots, and there's a breadcrumb trail. And genetics seem to be a factor. I'll post the videos on the playlist entitled Surviving the Suicide Disease, because I'm trying to help as many people, including the doctors. I hope as many doctors are watching this as possible. I know at least one is, maybe two. I want as many doctors and GPs and specialists to watch this video as possible, because this is one of the most serious diseases that we've got. No disease on planet Earth can make a human being suffer this much without killing them for at least 15 or 20 years. This needs to be taken seriously, and none of the doctors in my practice even know what this is, barring one GP who knows what it is. None of the other doctors even know what it is, and they haven't bothered to research it very much. They need to start teaching these doctors. Then I know some of the junior doctors are beginning to get taught about CRPS now, which is good. right? It's good for the next generation. But this should have been done decades ago. They've known about CRPS since the 1800s, for God's sake. People have been suffering needlessly for life. Like, this is a lifelong disease and it's progressive. People have been suffering with this needlessly for hundreds of years, and they've known about this, and they've known for the last 20 years approximately that this disease is treatable, it's curable if you get a diagnosis in the first 3 months. You need to get a diagnosis in the first 3 months, and on the NHS in the UK, that never ever happens. It took me 11 years to get a diagnosis. Actually, it was 12 years. It was 12 years, I remember now. 12 years to get a diagnosis. That's not right. I'm reaching the 14 and a half year, 14 and 3/4 year point now. And it shouldn't have taken that long to get a diagnosis. Nobody in any of my local hospitals even knew what it was. And we get accused of it being in our heads, and we get accused of making this up, and we get accused of just being after painkillers. It's insult to injury, and this needs sorting out. This is a terrible, terrible, diabolical situation. The Americans and the Italians are on the ball with this. They've got this down. They've got this down to a T. They know how to treat it. They know how to cure it. But UK and Europe are lagging behind, apart from Italy. Italy are the pioneers in CRPS treatment and cures. They can cure it within 3 months if it's caught in that first 3 months. It has to be caught early, with early diagnosis. Nobody needs to go through the suffering that I'm going through right now, and that everybody else with CRPS type 1 and especially type 2 are going through in the UK and worldwide right now. It's needless suffering. Nobody should be going through 47 out of 50 to 50 out of 50 pain score. It's above human torture. Nobody should be going through this. You know, it's only the strong ones of us who survive this, like myself. You need to be bloody strong here and here to survive something like this. And there's not many people who are this strong. Many take the easy route out. Okay? But I've pledged my life to helping people and to spreading awareness and to doing something about this. And on the odd opportunity that I get when my pain score is down to, my baseline has gone up to about 7 or 8 out of 10. The baseline has crept up. The pain has gone through the roof, if I'm honest. But so has my strength, and so has my resolve. The harder this hits me, the stronger I become. And this is a lesson for all of us. When life throws it at you and you think you cannot take any more, just hold on, because you will not believe how much more you can actually endure as a human being. Remember that your spirit incarnates, in form, which makes you superhuman. Okay. One love. Namaste.